grade 11 mindsetters, welcome to today's Life Sciences show. Today we have a special revision lesson on photosynthesis and cellular respiration. We have selected highlights from lessons shown earlier in the term to help you revise. Please post your comments and questions on our Facebook page on facebook.com/learnextra or on Twitter @learnextra so we can help you with your revision. You can also download the notes for today's show from learn.mindset.co.za or click on the link on our Facebook page. Now it's time to get on with today's lesson.
Here we got this beautiful picture. What I've got is I've got a plant there, I've got an animal there, I've got gas Y and oxygen. Gas Y and oxygen. Now the question states, what is gas Y? Now gas Y is the opposite, if I'm not mistaken, to oxygen. Right? So let me see how this works. Okay. The plant takes in gas Y. Yes? Goes through a whole process, and through this process gives off oxygen. Okay? The animal takes in the oxygen, goes through this whole process giving off gas Y. And the plant takes in gas Y. What does plant take in, Looney? What does the plant take in?
It takes in carbon dioxide.
Clever girl. You know just what to say. Hey? Good. The next one we're having a look at is, where does gas Y enter the plant? She thought I'd make it easy for her, didn't she?
Where does gas
Y, so carbon dioxide. Where does carbon dioxide enter the plant? Watch her say something like the lungs.
No, I was about to say the leaves.
Yes.
Does it?
Almost, yes. That was good. Take that guess. Huh?
Does it?
Yeah,
Almost.
but there's a specific part of the leaf. But the leaf is right. At least you didn't say bark or roots.
Oh, no, man, come on.
You get where I'm coming from. Okay? That was good, Looney. I was very impressed with that.
I'm trying, yeah.
I don't think you understand how impressed I am about that. Okay? It is found in the stomata. It goes through the stomata. Now, can you remember what the stomata is? Okay? The stomata look like bean-shaped cells, right? And they have a hole in the middle, okay? And those cells are called guard cells, and what they do is they open a hole, and the water can come through, and the carbon dioxide can go through. Okay, so that was very good, Looney. You don't understand how surprised I am, right? Well, no, wait, let me pull that back. Looney, I don't expect anything less.
No, like I'm really trying.
Of course you're trying. Since when don't you try?
I'm back.
Right. What do plants use gas Y for? Okay. What do the plants use the carbon dioxide for? That's quite a strange one. What does it use carbon dioxide for? Let's have a look. Photosynthesis. Okay, let's just understand. What does carbon dioxide do inside this whole system? Okay, let's just have a look. If I'm not mistaken, Looney, what do we need? What do we need? We need, just bear with me here. We need water, am I right? I'm just going to put a W for water. We happy with this? Looney, you happy with this, my girl?
Yeah.
W, we're going to need water, right?
Yes.
We're going to need sunlight. Okay, so SL. We happy? We're going to need CO. Am I right? Carbon dioxide. Yes? You with me so far, Looney? Okay, carbon dioxide. I'm going to need, let's see, sunlight, water, carbon dioxide, and chlorophyll. Okay, that's all fine. Okay, so what do we take in? Okay, we take in the water and we take in the sunlight. Am I right? We take in the water and we take in the sunlight and we cut it up. Now let's see what we get. We get H2O plus CO2 to make C6H12O6. What is this here? It's a carbon, right? Carbon is used to help make glucose. Can you remember the glucose molecule that we were talking about? Okay? It's part of the glucose molecule. We need the carbon. That's why we're taking carbon dioxide and not just plain oxygen. We need the carbon to make the, come on. What are we making?
Oxygen.
We're making glucose. See what happens when she stops trying. Okay. Luna, you with me now again, girl?
Yes.
Good girl. Now, if I have a look at it, in which process does animals use oxygen? In which process does animals use oxygen? Okay, now this is a strange question because it's going to confuse you. If I had a look at that, Looney, just help me out here. Right. I got plants and they give off oxygen, right? Animals take in the oxygen, right? They give off gas Y, which is, let me put it in here.
Carbon dioxide.
Oh, come on. It is CO2, right? And the plants take in the CO2. We happy with that?
Yes.
Okay, so process A or process B? Where do the animals use the oxygen? A or B?
Where do they use?
This is A. This is B.
B.
Which process, A or B, would the animal use the oxygen? Would it be B, where they get the oxygen, or would it be C, where carbon dioxide is made?
B.
You
Where they
reckon
get the.
this is where they get the oxygen. This is where they start releasing carbon dioxide. It's difficult, huh? It's
tricky.
It's a tricky question. Watch carefully. This part is what the plants do to get rid of their oxygen. This is the process that animals do to get rid of their carbon dioxide. So which process, A or B? A, we're still getting the oxygen. B, we're still getting the oxygen.
So A.
A means we are using oxygen to make carbon dioxide, right? So in my eyes, it has to be A. It can't be anything else. So let's go see. Okay, it is not that one. It's that one. It is. Oh, whoa, went too fast. In which process is animals using? It's called cellular respiration. It's got to be cellular or respiration is fine. It's cellular respiration. Okay, so that's the process where we use oxygen to make energy. Now, let me see if the next question is what I was looking for. That's it. Name process A or B. So let's get this again. In which process does animals use oxygen? We use it in cellular respiration. Can you remember that?
Cellular respiration.
Can you remember that?
Oh.
Which process, A or B? Name the process. Name the processes A and B. So this process, what's this process? What's this process? I've just told you exactly what it was in the last slide. Okay, if we have a look at it, process A is cellular respiration. Process A is where we use oxygen, and process B is where plants use the carbon dioxide. Okay, so process B is photosynthesis, and process A is carbon dioxide. Nice and easy, right? It's not that difficult. Next, if we have a look at the next one, what does the arrow label X represent? Ooh. Labeled X. So we're talking about this one here, this part here. What is that representing? Remember, there's up and down. That's all it is. Up and down. What is it representing? It's quite a strange question, this one, isn't it? Huh? Very difficult, I reckon. You need to know your stuff to understand this. That one, in my case, is carbohydrates. What it's saying is carbohydrates are passed from there to there. So carbohydrates is what the animals are going to eat out of the plants or get from the plants, right? Carbs. So this is the process of photosynthesis. This is the process of cellular respiration. You with me? Okay? So let me get this again. Process. Oh, wait, let's get some color here. And I'm going to choose a different one so it doesn't mix. This is the process of cellular respiration. So cellular respiration, CR. And this is the process of photosynthesis. This is what is passed on when we eat the plant, which is carbohydrates. You with me so far? Make sense? Looney, is it making sense to you, my girl? She sits there like, say, are you getting this? I don't know how you feel, but have you noticed when Looney is like, hasn't got a clue? It's always, so good, so amazing. What, Looney, you'll learn one day, my girl.
Yes, one day.
Right at the go. So improve your skills. Let's have a look at this. Okay, next question. Look at these two reactions that take place in living organisms. So here we go. Look at the two reactions that take place in living organisms. Okay, here's the first one. Reaction A, reaction B. In reaction A, we're taking oxygen and glucose, and we're making carbon dioxide and water. Am I right? You with me? That's what it says there. Next one, process D. We're taking carbon dioxide and water, and we're making oxygen and glucose. So it's the complete opposite. Yes or no? Looney? Okay. Keep watching. Keep watching. I'm going to make you famous in a few seconds. Right? Few seconds famous. Here we go. Okay. Which of these two reactions take place in plants and animals? Hey, hold on. Whoa. Hey, that doesn't make sense, does it? Okay, let's check at this again. Reaction A is where we take oxygen and glucose. Yeah? I mustn't move that. That's not good. Oxygen and glucose. We take oxygen, we take glucose, okay? And then we do something to them. We use them. And we make carbon dioxide and water. Yeah, and we release energy. That's the first one. Now, in my mind, Looney, if I'm not mistaken, that's cellular respiration. Yes. Okay. This one is carbon dioxide and water, okay? And we're going to use it and we're going to make oxygen and glucose. That's photosynthesis, yes. Okay, now the question is, which of the two reactions take place in plant and animal cells? Both. Oh. You know what? Maybe I put the question wrong. Hey? What do you think? Do you think I put the question wrong?
I don't get it.
Okay, well, let me put it into simpler terms for Lulu.
Takes place in plants and animals.
Plants and animal. Which process? I mean, this one is we're using oxygen.
Respiration.
Okay, this is cellular respiration. Don't do that. That is cellular respiration, right? The bottom one is photosynthesis. So the one is making food, the other one is using it. And I'm saying, which one do plants and animals use?
But animals don't photosynthesize.
Exactly. So it can't be this one, can it? Let's just get there. It can't be this one, can it?
No.
Can it? No. Can it be this one? Do plants use oxygen and glucose? Hey?
No. Is there a mistake in your question, or are you trying to trick me?
Never. I never make mistakes in my question.
Then what's going on?
Okay, let me tell you. Plants make the food, right? And they take it and they store it. But they still need to do stuff, don't they? So what do they need to do? They need to use the energy. Because why make energy if you need to use it? Right? If you don't need to use it, why make it? So we make the energy and we store it there. And now when it's time to make energy, what do? We take the stuff and we use the energy. And to use energy is called cellular respiration. So process A is saying that plants have to go through cellular respiration, just like every other cell. And animals do as well. So it has to be process A, reaction A. You all get where I'm coming from. That is why at night, for instance, they will go and take the plants out of a hospital because it uses the oxygen instead of the carbon dioxide. Very clever, huh? Next one. Which of the two reactions take place? Okay, so it just carries on there. Which of the two reactions take place in plants? Come, Looney, which one only takes place in plants?
Photosynthesis.
Which is number?
I can't see.
Oh, you can't see.
B.
B, clever girl. Has to be B. Very, very nice. Which reaction represents photosynthesis?
B.
Good one. And then, here we go. Name one substances used up in the reaction. Name one substance used up in reaction A. So if we have a look at this, name one substance used up in reaction A.
One substance.
One substance that we use in reaction A. 2.1. Which of the two reactions take place in plants and animal cells? Okay. Now, plants, they go through photosynthesis. Now, you were told your whole entire life, am I not right, Luni? Even in your primary school, you were told plants make their own food for themselves. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Us as animals, we go eat the plant and we steal their food. Yes. We robbers. Yeah. Simple. Cool. Now, listen to that saying from the beginning. Plants make their own food for themselves. Okay? So it takes the energy, it makes the food. Now, what's the point of making the food and putting it there and leaving it? Oh, don't need it. Okay? The process of taking that food, right, and burning it to make energy, okay, is called cellular respiration. Okay, so even plants go through cellular respiration. But they're the only ones that can photosynthesize as well. So all plants, all animals go through cellular respiration, but only plants goes through photosynthesis. Makes sense, Luni?
Yes.
Okay, what else do we have?
Beauty is asking, can a plant with yellow leaves undergo photosynthesis?
Plants with yellow leaves. Now, it's not actually, I suppose it is a bit yellow. It depends on how you're looking at it. It's normally a very, very, very light green. Okay? If it's got a very, very light green, it's trying to absorb as much as possible. It's not getting a lot of sunlight, and that's why it's very light green. Okay? But you get plants, for example, that have got different colored leaves. That's for attraction. Okay? Like, yeah, try this one out. Leaves that are modified are called flowers. How did you know that, Luni?
Huh?
So your rose petals are actually leaves.
Oh.
They're modified leaves. Okay? So that's fine. But you get these plants with yellow leaves. Okay? Look at carefully. When it comes to autumn, what color do those leaves turn, Luni? Can you remember?
The leaves
Yeah, when it comes to autumn, okay, what happens to the leaves?
turn brown.
They turn brownish yellowish, hey? That means that the chloroplast, that leaves actually started to die. So the chloroplast is left. And now you're going to see the real color of the leaves or other pigments coming through. And that's why they've gone yellow. So they shouldn't photosynthesize at all. They're dead. They're going to fall on the ground, and that's why they become so crunchy.
Okay, guys, I hope you're enjoying this revision session. If you need help, remember to post on the page or send an email to helpdesk@learnextra.co.za. Now it's time to take a quick break, but don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We have some great news to pass on to you. We will be bringing you winter school from the 30th of June till the 20th of July, starting at 10 a.m. every weekday. To get the full schedule, visit our website, learn.mindset.co.za, and look for the winter school link. Join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. But now it's time to get back to the lesson.
Right, now, back to studying. Right, now, what I've done is I'm doing some photosynthesis experiments, because without photosynthesis, we as humans can't live. You do know that, Luni? That
Yes, I know
if
that.
plants die, that's it for us.
Yeah,
we
no
can't survive.
oxygen.
So now I need to find out how they make their food and what is photosynthesis, how to test for photosynthesis. Okay? Now, the first thing I like testing for, well, is normally the starch test, but I need to get the water boiling there a bit. So I've got a leaf, right, that's been in the sun, right, and I want to see if it photosynthesizes. So I just want you to remember one thing. I'm going to take this leaf and I'm just going to put it into water. So let me move this away.
Should I go?
No, you can if you want. Do you you want to stay here by me or do you want to
Do
go?
you need me here?
You need to get the information, hey, Looney. They need to get posted.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to send Looney.
Okay,
So it's just
bye.
me and you now. Just me and
No,
you.
can I take my chocolate?
You can take whatever you want, my sweetie. Right, now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this and I'm going to just pop it into water there for a second. Right, well, not really a second. I'm going to put it in there. I just want you to remember, just plain water, nothing else. And I'm boiling it there so it can get nice and hot. Right, let's just open it up a bit. There we go. And let that do its job. Right? While that's doing that, I'm going to give you another experiment. Now, the experiment I want to do first is an experiment that we test what is produced when photosynthesis takes place. Because there's a couple of things. First, we have a look at if light is needed for photosynthesis, okay? And then we do a test where we take a leaf and we cover a part of it and we put into a dark room and, you know, and then we do a thing called a starch test. Now, what I'm going to do today with this leaf over here is a starch test, okay? Until then, I'm going to try another one. So the first one is checking if light helps with photosynthesis, okay? The second one that we look at, right, is what does a plant produce during photosynthesis, right? And that's another one I'm going to do. And then there's another one, does photosynthesis use carbon dioxide? So we're not going to look at that one, but I brought two so we can look at them, right? When I get back to the board just now, we'll look at those. Now, what I've done is I cheated slightly because this plant in here, if you have a look carefully and if you can have a good look, there's a plant inside there, and that plant is a water plant, right? So that lives underwater and it photosynthesizes there. And if you have a look carefully at, let me do this, at over here, we have a funnel. Now, what I need for this experiment is very simple. Okay, I need a beaker, I need some water, I need a plant that lives in water, okay, and I need a test tube. Easy, nice and easy. And what I've done is, you fill this test tube with water. So you take a test tube and you fill it up to the brim with water, right? Then you cover it and you put it inside the water. So this whole test tube is filled upside down in water, right? Then you put it over there. Now what will happen is if this plant, whatever this plant produces, right, oxygen, carbon dioxide, or whatever it is going to go up into this test tube and it's going to get rid of the water that's inside it. Okay, so that's what it does. Through displacement, it moves the water out of the way so it's got place to go, right? So that's what's happened. But it actually takes quite a while, okay? And if you have a look carefully, there is air bubbles. Can you see there's air bubbles on the inside on that plant, okay? So it's producing the oxygen or carbon dioxide, whichever it is, and it bubbles up all the way into this, and now I've captured it in here, right? So we need to test what type of gas is in here. Okay, now it's very, very important to understand. To test for oxygen, we use a glowing splint. In other words, I'm going to light this. It's going to go nice and red, and once it's red, I'm going to put it inside here, and it should glow a lot more, right? But I know I sent Looney back, and it's never a good thing to send Looney back too quickly.
Why?
Because I need you to help me here.
Let me post the
She's
notes.
going to post it. Okay, so let's carry on. If we have a look here, I want to see how fast this is going. I know it's nice and hot, and I'm going to stir it. You'll notice that the leaf's becoming very soft, right? Why do you think I would boil this? Okay, I've got to put it into hot water. Okay, you've got to boil it in hot water. Main reason is when you boil a leaf, you're doing a thing called you denaturing it. I'm just going to put this aside for a few seconds. You denature the leaf. In other words, you are breaking down the bonds, the what do you call those? The cell walls, for instance, right? So you boil it so it gets nice and hot, destroys the bonds, and then we're going to take it out. The next step we're going to do, I'm going to pull this out. Right, let's do it in here, okay? I'm going to take this, and I'm going to use this stuff, methylated spirits. Okay, normally you use alcohol, not the alcohol you buy from the shops. I'm talking about ethanol, methanol, all those type of things, right? And, oh, I can't use this because I need to put it into there. So I'm going to put it back into this test tube. I'm going to pour it in there. Hopefully I don't spill too much. Okay, there it is. Okay, now the whole point of this is this stuff's very, very important because what we do with this at the end is we actually need to get rid of the chlorophyll, right? So that green stuff that makes the leaf green, right? That stuff that's found in the leaf. There it is. I need to get rid of it because how am I going to see? The whole point of a leaf, what it does is it takes its food and it stores it as starch. And when it's got starch, okay, that's put aside. Now we need to do the test for starch. If this is test positive for starch, it means it's made food through photosynthesis. Now let's have a look at what I've got here so far. Okay, now what I have here, just hopefully to cool that down. This thing's been boiling quite nicely. Now what I've done is I've denatured all the cells, right, so that we can break them off. Okay, now I'm going to take this stuff, which is methylated spirits, and methylated spirits has got what in it?
No. Paraffin?
It starts with an L.
Oh.
Yeah. L.
Liquid.
Co. L.
Alcohol.
Clever girl. You see,
Alcohol.
no help needed by you.
No, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to stick this leaf into the alcohol. There
No,
it goes.
can I please just share this? I'm sorry, like people drinking my ear. Does alcohol start with an L?
Yes.
Alcohol?
Yes.
There where you come from.
Yes. L. Now, guess where I'm coming from? It says L and then co. I'm not spelling it properly. It's L. It starts with an L.
Oh, as in A-L. Okay,
Yes.
okay, we can forgive you.
What did you think I was saying? With an
L.
A? No.
L as in L.
As in A.
Alpha Llewellyn.
L as in A-L.
Okay, let's leave it. It's fine.
Woman. Right. Now, watch carefully. What happens to alcohol if I put fire to it?
Can I not be here when this happens?
See, she doesn't want to be here. So,
Yeah.
first of all, we got to be clever and we got to use something that holds the test tube, right? Because we don't want to damage old gorgeous Looney here. Second of all, I don't take alcohol near a flame because what's going to happen?
It's gonna.
Right. Now, let me give you a little bit of science here. Water has a boiling point of 100 and alcohol has a lot less. So what we do, watch carefully, is we stick the alcohol in the water and look what happens. Just have a good look at what happens. Don't worry.
No, the thing is, you see, people are worried about me. I'm also worried about myself. Don't know what's gonna happen. What if it
Okay,
explodes?
this here, well, I'm not very worried about that. This here, the alcohol has a lower boiling point. So because I've put it into boiling water, look carefully at what happens to the alcohol. If you can look nice and closely, the alcohol starts to boil, right? Now, why are we putting it in alcohol? Why do you think we put it in alcohol? Very, very important reason. We put it in alcohol for a good reason. Remember what color that leaf was when I took it out of the water? What color was it?
When you took it out,
Yeah,
it was a faded green.
it was a faded green. Very nice. And this water's got a slight green tinge to it. But I need to see everything. Have a look. What's happening to the alcohol there, Looney?
It's boiling.
It's boiling. Now the nice thing about
the
this is,
color.
the nice thing is I can turn this whole thing off and it'll still boil because the water is that hot.
Did you turn it off?
Yeah,
No.
there's still gas in the pipe. Looney.
Oh,
Stick with me here, girl. I'll make you famous.
Because it was this side when it was off, but no, it's fine. Make me famous.
Now-
Oh, that's off.
Now watch. Still boiling quite nicely. What color what color was the methylated
just
spirits?
But now why the
Oh,
color's
look
changing?
at the colors changed.
Yeah.
So what do you think is happening? What am I pulling out of that leaf?
The
Yeah.
chlorophyll.
Clever girl. She's brilliant. So I'm taking the green out of the leaf. Look at that.
Oh, cool.
Look how the color is changed.
And then now the tube is purple a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
Okay, now look at that. Look at the different color. Hey,
That's
Looney?
cool.
That's cool, hey?
Yeah.
Now that we've done that, okay, what I want to do is I need to remove that leaf. Now remember the alcohol is what? Hot.
Hot.
What does boiling mean?
Hot.
It's hot. Now, I'm going to take it out. Come on. And it's nice and hard. Look at the color of the leaf now.
Oh, yeah.
Come here. No one asked you to go back in there. Come on. Oh, I'm going to cheat.
I'm just gonna pour. Oh, now it's green.
Ha, look at that.
Looks like cabbage.
Looks like cabbage. Now remember the difference. Let just show you slightly. Look at the difference between the two, right? So I've removed the chlorophyll. Now, feel the leaf. It's quite hard. It's not as soft as it was.
Oh,
huh?
yeah.
Okay, and smell your hands. You can smell the alcohol. Yeah. Okay, it's hard. It's very hard, and I'm messing all over the place, but I really don't mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in there, okay? Because it's still hot. Look how it opens up. Okay, Looney, don't worry. Alcohol's not going to kill you. It's not going to kill you. It's actually very good for you.
My fingers are feeling very funny.
Oh, now you're feeling better, sweetie pie. Right, so now look. It's nice and relaxed, soft again, and hot.
Sorry.
Very hot. Right, and open it up. Now, can you remember the color of the leaf the first time you saw it?
Yeah, it looked like cabbage.
It looked like
It's
cabbage.
very
Now
light.
look at it.
It's
Look
getting
what color it is now.
its color.
Hey, where's the is it still green?
Uh-uh.
If I have a look at this, doesn't this look like a leaf that has just fallen off the tree in autumn?
Oh, yes.
All the green's out of it. So that's exactly what the alcohol does. It removes the chlorophyll. So all the chlorophyll is in there. Okay, now, if we have a look at it.
Do you still need me?
No, we don't need it. But I always need you, Lini.
No, like,
I get it.
I'm
Right,
there.
I've got this stuff called iodine, right? Now, what happens with iodine is if this leaf does not have starch, it's going to stay like a reddish color, right? But the minute starch is present, it goes a blue-black, a dark blue-black color, right? So this is how we're going to test it, okay? I'm going to open it, and I need to, I made sure I went and bought new ones just to make sure it's 100% right for you, right? And this is a dropper, okay? So take the dropper, suck up a bit of, I don't want too much, right? And I'm going to drop it. I will show you. Okay, don't go too far. That's it. You will see exactly where it photosynthesized and where it didn't. Which is the nicest thing out because I made sure that this leaf was half in the shade. Hey, there we go. Now, put this away. Just have a good look. Have a look at that. You will notice that where it is a very dark color, that's where photosynthesis was taking place. Where it was a very light color, there's not much. It means that there's not much starch there, right? You know that bread and all of that is starch? So have a look. Look how dark it is, and look here. Look at this. Nothing. Look here. Nothing. This piece here is where it's photosynthesized. Hey, how cool is that?
Welcome back from the break. Let's not waste any time and get straight back to today's revision lesson. Over to you.
It says study the graph, right? Show it and have a look at the questions that follow. It's nice and simple. That's how we look at it, okay? There's the first graph. We pull it across. There it is. And then, of course, we have the second graph, which is down at the bottom. Okay? And they all relate to the same thing. Okay? Now, let's have a look what the question asks first. Why does lactic acid build up between A and B? Okay, so let's go find it. A and B. There's A, okay, and there's B. B is your oxygen, so let me get that, O2, okay. A is your exercise, and C, well, this dark line over here would be your, let me just get it. Could be your exercise. I'm trying to think now how I would interpret this question, okay? Because the way I see, so the one will be your exercise, the one will be your oxygen, and the other one will be your ATP. ATP. Okay, cool. Now, let's have a look at it. What does lactic acid build up between A and B? So why does it build up? A, remember, is your exercise. So you're having exercising, right? And the exercising is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? But it's exercising with very low amount of oxygen. Can you see it? The oxygen level is very low. Now, if the oxygen level is very, very low, what is going to happen? Okay? You are not going to go through aerobic respiration. You're going to go through anaerobic respiration. And remember, anaerobic respiration is where you can take glucose and you go to pyruvic acid, right? We've made 2 ATPs. but we're not going to send it through that thing called the Krebs cycle, right? We're going to take it, and we're going to take that pyruvic acid, and we're going to move it in to make it lactic acid. So if you're doing exercises with not enough oxygen, we make lactic acid, and that is anaerobic respiration. Am I right, Luni? Oh, I'm going to say something wrong just now, and you're going to have to fix it. Right, so you're happy with that. That's the first answer, the question. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Okay, it says here, oxygen is required. There is more oxygen that's required than there is available. So in other words, they're doing the exercises, but there's not enough oxygen there. So they're not breathing as much, or we're doing more exercises, or we're doing more work, or we're using more ATP than what oxygen we have. So we're going to create lactic acid. We can't go through the Krebs cycle, right? So we're using more oxygen than it is supplied. Therefore, anaerobic respiration takes place, right? And the anaerobic respiration produces lactic acid. It's a simple answer, right? Now that's the way where you're going to get your marks for. The first one is we're using more oxygen than what we're getting in. Okay, so you're going to get a mark for that. And then, of course, it tells you that anaerobic respiration is taking place. And then what are we making because of it? We're making your lactic acid. It's nice and easy. Okay, if we have a look at the next one. Why does the amino acid... Oh, I better keep my pen. Why does the amount of oxygen taken place into an increase once the exercise has stopped? So why do you carry on breathing? Okay, so the whole point of this is why is it that when you finished exercising, so you run 100-meter sprints, right? You run the 100-meter sprint, and when you finish, why don't you run past the line and go and you just stand normally? Hey Looney, why do you do that? Why do you run past the finish line of 100-meter sprints and go?
Because you've just finished and you're tired and you need to breathe.
You need to breathe. Yeah, she makes it sound so beautiful. It's not, but anyway. Okay, what happens is you still need to replace those ATPs. You need that ATP in your body, right? So what happens is we're putting the oxygen in so that we can actually use the energy. Now, if you take lactic acid, okay, so we make lactic acid and you add oxygen to it, right? We automatically make ATP. Right, not ATP, we make glucose again so that we can make ATP again. So we want to get as much oxygen as possible so that we can put it with the lactic acid, break down that lactic acid and make ATP again. But if we take this oxygen and we take with the rest of the glucose that we have and we make ATP, at least we recover nice and quickly. Okay, I'm just putting it out there. So let's see. Because if you have a look at here, B is the oxygen. So the oxygen comes along, it goes up. As we get to a certain point, now we're going to start doing aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration takes place. We don't need that much more oxygen, and it goes back down. Okay, so let's look at the question. The question was, why does the amount of oxygen taken continue to be in a high amount even though you finished? Right, and the answer is, let's go through there. Firstly, during exercise, anaerobic respiration also takes place. Okay, well, sorry, aerobic respiration also takes place. It doesn't mean that if the one's taking place, the other one doesn't, because you're still breathing. But you're making, every time you go through the process of aerobic respiration, you still need more ATP. So some is going through anaerobic respiration while some is going through aerobic respiration. Right, so you still need to produce that ATP, right? Then, okay, even though you stop exercising, okay, where am I now? Oh, yeah, that's it. Anaerobic still takes place. Then it is the producing carbon dioxide, which accumulates in the blood. Okay, now you know that you need a thing called homeostasis, right? Now homeostasis is very important in the body. Okay, carbon dioxide is very important to us, and so is oxygen. Okay, so we take oxygen in and we give off carbon dioxide. But every time we go through the thing called the Krebs cycle, we're making carbon dioxide. So now we put that in the blood. Okay, now I need to take that carbon dioxide and get rid of it. Okay, if there's too much carbon dioxide in the body, it's very bad for us. So we pull in oxygen so that we can take the carbon dioxide out and put the oxygen in. Okay, just remember, people do hyperventilate. That's when they get off too much carbon dioxide, so we need to put carbon dioxide back in the body. That's why we breathe through a brown plastic bag. Hey, brown paper bag. Can you remember that, Lini? You see, she's lost. She's typing. She's not listening to us. Right, so it's very important to have that homeostasis. There's too much carbon dioxide in the body, so we need to get rid of it and get more carbon dioxide in. Right, okay? And then an increase in carbon dioxide causes an increased rate of breathing to continue long after the exercise has happened. Right? So even though we've stopped exercising, because there's so much carbon dioxide in the air, we need to get rid of it, so we need to take in oxygen and get rid of the carbon dioxide. But we also, don't forget, you still need to go through your aerobic respiration to create that ATP that is still happening inside the body. We need to get that ATP back, we need to replace it. Right. Okay, cool. So, let's go to the next question. Okay? If you continue exercising, you would probably end up with muscle cramps. Can you explain why? Ooh, Lini, why would you get muscle cramps if you carry on exercising?
Because you're not giving your body time to rest.
It's nice. I like that. Doesn't give the time body to rest. We'll make her a life science student one day. One day. One day. She's getting better. Now that you put your hands in it. Exactly. Now that you put your hands in that
you're
stuff.
not giving your body enough time to recover.
Yes, but if you carried on.
Yes.
Why would you go into cramps? Now that's a good question.
Because you're losing oxygen.
We've made too much lactic acid. That's it. We've made too much lactic acid. And lactic acid stops the muscle from working. Right? So it like makes the muscle go, I quit. Right? That is the whole point. Okay? It stops you from over destroying your muscle. Okay? Because if you work your muscle over and over again, it doesn't have enough ATP. It doesn't have oxygen. It's like, you know these people, you see these guys that pass out. And they normally say there was not enough oxygen to the brain. Yes? Can you remember that? Have you all heard that?
Yes.
Okay? Now, that there, it's the same as the muscles. If the muscle doesn't have ATP, right, it cannot do its job. Now, you know, and I know, and Looney knows, because you've done, what's that stuff called, athletics. Have you never done athletics or watched it?
When I was younger.
Yes, yes. And you're running that long distance, 1,500 meters. Right, and you come around that last bend and you want to run. Am I right, Looney?
Yeah.
And you give it everything. Yeah, and you're running and the head's going and the arms are going and the legs are going. But you can walk faster.
Really?
Have you ever seen that? The guys are running, you have no idea, they're giving it everything. But they are running so slowly because their body can't do it any faster. They don't have any more energy. Right, they can't do it anymore. Same thing, the bodies are starting to quit. Okay, so let's have a look at the answer for this. Right. Okay, it's a nice, simple answer. I'm going to move it up. Okay, it is exercise has taken place under anaerobic respiration, as I was saying, right? Because of the shortage of oxygen, which is a simple answer, right? Okay, then it says, resulting in the accumulation of lactic acid. This will build up this will build up, and the lactic acid causes the muscle to become paralyzed roundabout, right? So become paralyzed, there it is. Okay, it paralyzes the muscle. It says, hold on, but I can't do this anymore. Okay, so it paralyzes the muscle, so the muscle doesn't work anymore. Okay, and then the lactic acid is converted into crystals, and the muscle results in pain. So in other words, I know, I did fitness when I was younger, I did sport. And after you've done a good fitness session, right? Hey, Looney, you've had this before. You go to gym. Yeah? First time you go to gym in ages and you go on the treadmill and you're running and all that other stuff and you feel good, and the next morning you wake up, you go,
yeah,
it's not going to work. Yeah? That is lactic acid. How stiff is that? Okay? It's the same thing. Okay, your body isn't used to working. Yes, it's more things than that, but that lactic acid, that stiffness is building up, and then you touch your muscles and they're sore and they're not happy, and hey? You know this all, Haley. Okay, so that is the whole point of it. Okay, now, if I have a look at the next question, okay, explain why. Yeah, we go. This is always good with athletics, right? So explain why a 1,500 meter runner could not possibly run a race at the same pace as a 100-meter sprinter. Hey, Looney, why can't they do that? Why can't a 1,500-meter runner sprint 4 times around the field at the same pace that a 100-meter sprints 100 meters?
Because they're not trained to do it.
No, even the best in the world cannot.
They're not used to it.
Sorry, can't do it. It's impossible.
What?
See, that's the question. Why? That's the question. Okay, remember that 100-meter sprinters is very quick. They go through anaerobic respiration. They don't need oxygen. Okay, so they run that 100-meter sprint and they finish, and their muscles have used 2 or 3 ATPs, right? So it's there. It's a small amount of ATP. So they got a few from aerobic as they were running, very little, but a lot of it came from anaerobic respiration, right? Where the 1,500-meter runner, he jogs it. He jogs it at a fast pace, but he jogs and he grabs in all the oxygen, nice deep breaths, and as he's doing that, he's going through the Krebs cycle and the oxidative phosphorylation and all of those things, and he's making 38 ATP all the time so that he's got energy to do it. Whereas if he sprints it, he's doing too much work for not enough oxygen, which means he's going to make lactic acid and his muscles are going to paralyze, they're going to stop working. And that's why you see these people, they run out of the blocks, they sprint in the beginning, and what do? They hit that thing called the wall. Have you ever heard of it? You see them sprinting and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, and they can't move anymore. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
It's called hitting the wall. That's exactly what it is, right? You've got no more energy, you can't do any more work, and you're not going to run fast enough. And that's where these guys pass you and they laugh because you sprinted. Right, never a good thing. Okay, so let's have a look at what the answer is, right? I like my finger quite nicely, it does well with the pen. Right, a 1,500-meter runner will use aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration almost equally. Okay, so they're going to use both because they're running fast, but they're also using aerobic respiration at the body. So they're going to get 2 ATP plus the 38 ATP. Okay, now it might not sound right, but let me put it this way. Aerobic respiration gives 38 ATP, but you need the 2 from the first part, glycolysis, right? Now, if I took 2 things where glycolysis happens, this one carries on going through to the Krebs cycle and the oxidative phosphorylation, and it makes 38 ATP, and this one comes down to the to create lactic acid and makes 2 ATP, which will make 40 ATP. We happy? If you had to both go through aerobic respiration, they'll both go through glycolysis, they'll both go through the Krebs cycle, they'll both go through oxidative phosphorylation, and they'll both make 38 ATP. Right, so that is if you just use aerobic. Now, that's if you do a nice slow run and it's not as good. If you do the way they run it, they're doing it fast, they're using both at the same time. Right, because you need a bit of lactic acid, it's quick energy. Okay, so first of all, they use it almost immediately. A 100-meter runner uses anaerobic respiration only, and therefore the muscles of the 1,500-meter runner will not be able to work or not use anaerobic respiration, right, at that high rate. He will not be able to make 38 ATP or that amount of ATP to sustain him running that 1,500 meters. Right? Very important. You can only do so much work with anaerobic respiration. You can do a lot more with aerobic respiration. So oxygen is very, very important to us. Right. Okay. Let's have a look at the next one. If a marathon runner starts too quickly, they are unlikely to finish the race. Explain your answer. Oh, come on. That's exactly what I just said to you. Hey, Looney. What are they going to hit?
The wall.
The wall. Right. They cannot carry on. Remember, the lactic acid is going to almost like paralyze the muscles, so you can't go anywhere. Hey, Looney? Okay, so let's have a look if I'm right. Well, if Looney's right, should I say. Okay, the marathon runner obtains their energy mainly from aerobic respiration. Okay, if they start off too quickly, they won't have sufficient oxygen and the muscles will be forced to use anaerobic respiration, which produces lactic acid, right, which might be converted into crystals causing cramps. Okay, so if you start off too fast and you're not used to running at that rate, it's going to cause cramps. That's why you have to train to do running. Okay, your body's going to do that in the beginning. It's going to start making into cramps, but your body gets used to taking the right amount of oxygen to work at it. Right, it's very, very nice. I think very important to know your stuff before you do sport. Right.
We've come to the end of today's show. Thanks for joining me and for chatting to me during the show. Remember to visit our website, learn.mindset.co.za, to get the notes and to watch the videos from the term. Goodbye.